Hey guys, Joeypals here, and welcome back to another iteration in the Top 8 Gym Leaders of Blank series. For those uninitiated, in this series, what we do is take a look at the gym leaders of a region and pick the top 8 on a variety of factors, including but not limited to difficulty, gym design, and memorability. Unova is a special case as there's 2 different listings of gym leaders, but as it is all the same region, they'll be grouped together. Just remember, this is a personal opinions list, so my picks may not entirely match with yours. Let me know how you'd rank these guys down in the comments. Now, without further ado, let's start the countdown. For this here pick, as a resident of Texas, I'll be using country accent, giddy up and yeehaw, y'all. Time to take our number 8 pick, Clay, to the Old Town Road. Now for y'all city slickers that ain't aware, Clay is the 5th gym leader of this here Driftvale City with a kick in music. Play it, Dolly. That's gonna get more than annoying if it goes on too long. Anywho, the strong, muscular man is the first one that steps up to take on the 7 sages at the end of Black and White. And for that, I give him credit. Where he ends up losing a lot of points is in his gym battle, which is honestly ridiculously easy. As it is the 5th gym battle, it's expected by now that you have some grass move, especially given you were able to get a grass type soon after Leonora in the form of either Petalil or Cottony in Black or White, depending on the game, which can be easily evolved via a Sunstone you get in the town prior, Nimbasa City. Maractus is also an option, but meh. This makes 2 of his Pokemon, Krokorok and Palpitoad, extremely simplistic. In Black 2 and White 2, your pre-clay options are Sunkern, Sawaddle, Maractus, Cottony, Petalil, Roselia, Pansage, Fungus, and even some evolved forms sitting in the wild via Rustling Grass, Roserade, Leaveney, Whimsicott, and Lilligant. This makes his first 2 Pokemon, Krokorok and Sandslash in Black 2 and White 2, super easy targets as well. The only trouble would be with Excadrill, which is a very terrifying Pokemon even in the competitive scene. That being said, even with Rock Slide and Bulldoze, it is a Steel type, meaning anything water, fighting, fire, or ground would work wonders here. Clay is definitely memorable, but due to where he's at in the game, his team just doesn't pose too much of a challenge. Thus, he takes the number 8 slot. Coming up in 7th place is a girl who is even less challenging but has a really cool aesthetic, Scylla. Let's get this out of the way now, as Scylla's teams are both trash. The standout on Scylla's Black and White team is Unfazant, which has Leer, Quick Attack, Air Slash, and Razor Wind. Big fucking yikes. She does get considerably tougher in Black 2 and White 2 thanks to Karen's Skarmory and her ace, Swanna, having a much better moveset, but all things considered, she's a cakewalk. Where she strikes a chord with me is her design as well as her gym's design. With her outfit itself, it's a very beautiful balance that just looks incredible, complete with a little propeller around her bun. Sure, it's short, but considering we just got done with Brown City Boss Hog over here, it's a welcome sight for sore eyes. What also strikes out to me most is the entire town, which has been converted into an airport. As a kid, airplanes always fascinated me. I was on one when I was 2, and didn't get on one again until I was 21 years old moving out to Texas. That whole mode of transportation was something easy my young mind could latch onto and wonder about, and that I did in spades. My only insight to airports, airplanes, and such was limited to the media. And while I don't really enjoy the Unova games, this town specifically helped me understand things just a little bit better. So for that, Scylla, bubbly personality and all, I thank you. Now, to leave glitz and glamour for the hard rock style for a number 6 pick, Roxie. Roxie, hailing from Black 2 and White 2, is a childish rock star that doesn't get murdered, a la Ibuki Miota in Danganronpa 2, but rather jams out with a poison type. We first meet her in Burbank City, where she's arguing with her father about him becoming a movie star. In Pokemon, we don't get a lot of family moments, so seeing something like this in a sequel no less with brand new characters is rather refreshing. While she doesn't fully understand it at first, I would imagine she eventually comes to terms with it. After all, she is a musician. Profession that, musical talent aside, commands one to know themselves completely emotionally and project that emotion. Emotional stuff aside, Roxie is truly a star when it comes to the battlefield. First and foremost, she's in command of a poison type, a type that's rarely seen on any specialist, and was only seen prior on Koga and Janine. That being said, she uses the biggest new tool for the poison type, Venoshock, to extremely great effect. You see, Venoshock is a move that, when the target is poisoned, will have double the power, going from 65 to 130. While that may not be shown off too much in easy and normal mode, due to only Whirlipede having it, while Coughing just has Smog, on hard mode all 3 Pokemon carry Venoshock, with new edition Grimer proving especially lethal if not prepared due to a vicious combination of Mudslap, Disable, Poison Gas, and Venoshock. In short, even if Roxie's music sales are flagging in a climate made for rap as rock music falls by the wayside, never count Roxie out. You never know what nasty tricks she has in store. In our number 6 entry, for a moment we talked about Roxie's father and how he wants to be a movie star. Well, for our number 5 entry, we have an actual movie star. Ladies and gentlemen, the coolest Ice-type gym leader around, Bryson. Now, normally I'd go into the typical stuff, his team and all, but let's keep it brief here. Bryson is here sheerly on personality. His team is weak as hell, but that's come to be expected for late-game Ice-type gym leaders. Hell, he's only a gym leader in 1 game. But what he lacks in battlefield presence, he more than makes up for as a personality. Bryson, in short, is a movie star, and quite a mysterious one at that. He's made it a point to conceal his identity, to a point where his Japanese title is Ice Mask. He seems headstrong, but doesn't mind dabbling in the flamboyant given all his Bryson Man movies where, instead of using ice types, except for Weavile in the last movie, he uses predominantly the dark type. There's just so much mystery and allure that comes from Bryson just being Bryson, and I'd love to learn more about his character one of these days. He's one of the few characters that actually caught my eye in Black 2 and White 2, thus taking my number 5 spot. We now enter the top 4, and coming in at number 4 is Drayton. I originally had Iris in this spot, but overall Drayton is much cooler and much more plot relevant in the grand scheme of things. According to Bulbapedia, he wrestles with his Pokemon for training, which sounds weird, but then you have to keep in mind his Pokemon are the Dragon type, which makes it frickin' awesome. While he does have some pretty basic things going on in Pokemon Black and White, where he comes to shine is in Pokemon Black 2 and White 2. In those games, he's much more hands-on than Iris. While Iris pops up multiple times, Drayton leads his town in a failed defense against Team Plasma, trying to break the ice with his Haxorus. That is what a gym leader should be. Someone who can lead their town by example and in times of crisis. As far as gym teams, not much can be said since he's late into the game, therefore he shouldn't have too many issues. But I will note that his Black 2 and White 2 team is significantly stronger, given the swap out of Fracture for Flygon. Flygon having a zesty move pool to boot before the star Haxorus comes in. Overall, I love this guy for what he stands for, but due to lack of challenge he rides in at number 4. With number 3 among us, I feel like this is a perfect place to drop Sharon. Sharon follows a similar arc to Blue from Generation 1. A Generation 5 wants to steal from and then some. Sharon starts off friendlier than Blue, but for the most part is emotionally unavailable and solely goal-driven, teaming up with the protagonist whenever convenient and battling them otherwise. You two fight each other throughout the journey, and eventually in Black and White at Victory Road, he concedes to your power. From there into Black 2 and White 2, Sharon becomes a gym leader for the first gym, being a normal type gym leader, being a mini Leonora in strategy. So why exactly does Sharon score so high? For multiple reasons. First being first is that you've seen this kid grow for several years between your journey in the first Unova games into the second pair, where he blossoms past the gym battle and helps you out, just like Drayton. Against Team Plasma, even in the post-game, he goes from someone pretty emotionally distant to someone that's open, which is a huge boon. Finally, his arc is more realistic than Blue's, providing a progression instead of a decrease in position. In Blue's case, he rose champion for all of, 5 minutes? Then took Giovanni's gym after he vanished. For Sharon, he never made that stride for champion, falling short of Victory Road, but he did continue to grow in the 2-year gap between Generation 5 games, and took that experience to become the new first gym leader. He's a class act, and how I wish most rivals were written if they go for the serious spin. With all that being said, he comes in at number 3. With 2 gym leaders left, allow me to present you with the first black gym leader in Pokemon's history, Leonora. Fortunately, once you get past her attire, which could be taken extremely wrong given historical context, you get to see a very interesting character. Leonora is part-time gym leader, part-time researcher, working alongside her husband Hawes in the research department. The two love each other greatly once you dive into Hawes' dialogue, which speaks volumes in a series that portrays plenty of couples as simple archetypes. She unfortunately doesn't play that strong of a plot role, but given the fact that Leonora is heavily research-based, between the museum front to the library and back is a really cool spin on things. Where Leonora shines, though, is on the battlefield. Like Sharon, Leonora specializes in normal types, although on her end, she's much more brutal. I'd say, if anything, Leonora is possibly the closest you can get to Whitney's Miltank. This is mostly due to her Watchog, which is strong and fast given second gym standards. In that toolkit, Watchog carries Retaliate and Hypnosis, 2 very dangerous moves. Retaliate is a move that, when the previous Pokemon faints, for 1 turn will do double damage, effectively giving Watchog a base 140 stab move when it comes in. Something will die unless you're extremely careful or lucky, and will easily exert itself over your entire team if you don't put a quick stop to it. Frankly, if the next gym leader didn't exist, Leonora would easily shine as the best gym leader in this region. But how can we talk about Unova without bringing up Alyssa? This electric specialist model has one of the coolest gym designs in both of her games, bringing a signature look to both games and is challenging to boot. Let's take this step by step though and begin with her being a model. Much like Fantina, but far less gaudy, Alyssa is a supermodel, a trait that's seen quite well in the anime and a certain other aspect we'll get to here shortly. With that title comes poise, grace, and ease in communication, traits Alyssa uses in order to convince Bianca's father to allow Bianca to continue pursuing her dreams. She also just so happens to be best friends with Scylla, who could also pass as a runaway model in her own right. The bond between these two run deep, to the point where Alyssa confides in Scylla, but she would like to change her own image. Alyssa also drops a reference that could easily go back to Scylla as well, with Alyssa saying, "And don't call me Shirley," in the Memory Link event taking it to the next level, referencing the 1980 film Airplane. Moving on to the gym designs, in the first games, the player has to traverse a roller coaster maze in order to reach her, an area which looks visually stunning. However, in Black 2 and White 2, there's a little twist. Those familiar with the first 2 games would assume they would just need to go back to that gym, but instead, in that gym, you'll need to find one of Alyssa's fellow models. She'll be the one that gives you access to the new gym, which is a literal catwalk. There's a lovely animation sequence when you walk through for the first time, and the whole thing is just awesome. If that's not enough, you'll also be quite impressed by her gym team, the first team in the region having fully evolved Pokemon. While you might initially be confused as to why she carries 2 of the same Pokemon, it proves to be a great way to prey on the player if they didn't come prepared. All 3 of her Pokemon come with Volt Switch, a pretty powerful move that, upon hitting, lets the Pokemon switch out for one of its teammates. It's basically a special version of U-Turn, which, once you consider who Alyssa is, ties into her character perfectly. Challenging, beautiful, and overall just a wonderful character. What more can you ask for? And with that, that's the end of the top 8 gym leaders of Unova. What do you guys think of my picks? Is there anyone you'd shift around? Who's your favorite gym leader of Unova and why? Does anyone know who Marlon is? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Sorry if these videos are coming out slightly slow. I'm currently trying to figure out exactly what I want to do with this channel and Twitch now that I've moved, but we'll hit a solution soon. In the meantime, my name is Joeypals, signing out.